Hi everyone, welcome back to a new weekend episode from DGMZ, Diwan-e-Ghalib, Meri Zubani. For all our returning viewers, we are so glad you could join us again. And for the new viewers, we are very happy that you decided to explore the podcast. As always, my recommendation to the new viewers would be do access the introductory episode because it will give you an insight into the motivation and um, the objective of this podcast. What is the inspiration that drives the podcast? Also, for your awareness, currently we have two playlists in the podcast. One playlist is consisting of these weekend episodes where we get into a ghazal from Diwan-e-Ghalib week after week. And then there's another playlist of bonus episodes where we still explore topics related to Urdu poetry, related to Mirza, but not the ghazal impressions. These topics are about events at DGMZ, some other concepts of Urdu poetry. So do explore both the playlist and then tune into the episodes that seem to interest you. So if you have been with me for the past episode, you know that we completed Ghazal 15 last time. I did want to correct a mistake that I made during my impressions. I was referring to 3 episodes for Ghazal 15. That is incorrect. Ghazal 15 was covered in just 2 episodes. So, since we finished 15 last time, today we get a chance to start a new ghazal, Ghazal 16 from Diwan-e-Ghalib. And I'm very excited. This is a very interesting ghazal. Comes with a few unique aspects which we will enjoy together. But like always, first I will read the entire ghazal and then we will get into the impressions verse by verse. So, this is how it goes. मतलब अर्ज किया है, ना लाए दिल में शब, ना लाए दिल में शब, अंदाज़-ए-असर नायाब था। ना लाए दिल में शब, अंदाज़-ए-असर नायाब था सिपंद-ए-बज़्म-ए-वस्ल-ए-गैर, गो बेताब था। मक़दम-ए-सैलाब से दिल क्या निशात आहंग है। मक़दम-ए-सैलाब से दिल क्या निशात आहंग है। खाना-ए-आशिक मगर साज-ए-सदा-ए-आब था। नाजिश-ए-अय्याम-ए-खाकिस्तार-नशीनी क्या कहूँ। नाजिश-ए-अय्याम-ए-खाकिस्तार-नशीनी क्या कहूँ। पहलू-ए-अंदेशा वक़्फ़-ए-बिस्तर-संजाब था। कुछ न की अपने जुनून-ए-ना-रसा ने वरना में। कुछ न की अपने जुनून-ए-ना-रसा ने वरना में। ज़र्रा ज़र्रा Ruu-Kash-e-Khurshid-e-Aalam-Taab था। आज क्यों परवाह नहीं अपने असीरों की तुझे। आज क्यों परवाह नहीं अपने असीरों की तुझे। कल तलक तेरे भी दिल मेहरो-वफा का बाब था। याद कर वो दिन, याद कर वो दिन कि हर एक हल्का-ए तेरे दाम का। याद कर वो दिन कि हर एक हल्का-ए तेरे दाम का। इंतज़ार-ए-सैद में एक दीदा-ए-बे-ख्वाब था। मक़दर्स किया है, मैंने रोका रात गालिब को वगरना देखते। मैंने रोका रात गालिब को वगरना देखते। उसके सैले गिरिया में गर्दूं कफ़े सैलाब था। So let me begin by telling you the unique aspect which runs throughout this ghazal. And of course, it will get detailed once we get into the impressions verse by verse. But where this ghazal goes that extra mile, if you may, is that the backdrop of the ghazal is unrequited love, but then it goes one step beyond that. So it is about Ghalib's unrequited love for his beloved, but in this ghazal, the beloved has now chosen a rival lover, has now gone ahead with a rival lover. And that puts Ghalib in a position of a silent, helpless observer. Actually, not silent because he did speak through the ghazal, but helpless observer who is made to realize and acknowledge the fact that his love and his cries for love towards his beloved were impactless. They did not influence the beloved. And not only that, the beloved actually, while all this was happening, developed actual feelings and responses to the advances of a rival lover. So the way I see it is, it's a double whammy. So first of all, I love you, you don't love me back, and then you go ahead and love someone else. That's another level of pain and disappointment. So that is what we will see throughout the ghazal, but I thought I would just explain it in the beginning. So let's get into the first sher. Nalaa-e-Dil mein Shab. Nalaa-e-Dil mein Shab, Andaaz-e-Asar Nayaab tha. Let's do an approximate translation here. Nala cries, Dil, heart, Shab, night. Last night, the cries from my heart. Andaaz-e-Asar, the impact, the influence. Nayaab tha. Nayaab, though literally it means rare, but by extension it means absent. Just so little that it's not there. So basically, Andaaz-e-Asar Nayaab tha, the influence or the impact was missing. It was not there. It was absent. So last night, the influence or impact or effect in my cries was missing. They did not have the weightage. They did not carry the impact. They did not carry the influence they should have. Second line, Tha Sipand-e-Bazm-e-Vasl-e-Ghair, go Betaab tha. Sipand is a rue seed. Bazm-e-Vasl-e-Ghair. Bazm is a meeting, a gathering. Vasl is coming together. Ghair is a stranger. So in the meeting of coming together with a stranger. Rue seeds were Betaab. Betaab is restless. Rue seeds were restless, where there was a coming together with a stranger. I know the approximate translation might not make sense, but we will unravel this bit by bit. So many a times I share with you that sometimes there comes across a centerpiece of the Sher to me, right? The word on which the entire Sher pivots. And in this Sher, the word is Sipand. So we have to get into that to actually enjoy the essence of this couplet in totality. So let's get into Sipand. So Sipand is it's called wild rue. It's a type of a weed with seeds, and it is said that when these seeds are thrown in the fire and they make a crackling noise, right? They are protecting you from evil. That crackling noise is a sign that the Sipand seeds have effectively warded off evil and protected you from it. So that's the background short story. But let's get into the context a little. So this is a common weed found in Persia, Central Asia, and the adjacent areas. There are two types of Sipand seeds, white and black. Now, in Persia, the use of Sipand seeds was primarily in magical practices. The most common and the most documented use of these seeds was for magical practices. But they were also used to cure many ailments. In fact, it is said that this is a divinely blessed plant. This is a divinely blessed plant which can cure 72 types of diseases. And leprosy is the least severe of them. So, as we know, leprosy is there was a time when it was considered almost incurable. So, if that is the least severe disease, one can only imagine what the other 71 are. That's what is said about these seeds. Also, it is said that the smoke from these seeds, if you burn these seeds, the smoke will ward off harm from people and places that get exposed to that smoke. Now, that is why these seeds are burnt at potentially harmful moments. I would not say harmful, I would say risky moments, right? And some examples are circumcision ceremonies, protection of a woman during childbirth. The burning of the seeds is accompanied by some magical recitation of formulas, right? And it is said that when you burn them, this will avert the evil eye. And from the Persian tradition, this burning of rue seeds came into the Islamic tradition also, right? And as a Shiite tradition, there is an angel in each of the plant's leaves and seeds. Its roots drive away sorrow and magic. And it is said that the devil stays a distance of 70 houses away from the homes in which this seed is kept or this plant is available or present. Now, rue seeds, they have been called a herb of bitterness, and they have been called a herb of grace. And here in this couplet, what Ghalib is trying to do is he's trying to draw a parallel between rue seeds burning and warding off evils vis-a-vis his sighs of pain and the warding off evil. And in this couplet, the evil is his beloved coming together with a rival lover, right? So first he draws the parallel beautifully, where he compares his heart, which is burning in pain and misery and grief, the cries from his heart, like Sipand seeds in fire, crackling, right? And like Sipand seeds are supposed to ward off evil, he is sending out these sighs and these laments from his heart towards his beloved, so that these sighs can, just like Sipand seeds, ward off the evil happening. Right? The evil happening is the beloved and the rival lover coming together and being together that night. And then in the same couplet, he draws the contrast. After drawing this parallel, he draws the contrast that though the sighs were crackling like Sipand seeds, instead of warding off the evil, which was the rival lover and my beloved spending the night together, it had an opposite effect. It actually created a protection for them. It actually created a protection for them. I had sent out these sighs, and they were supposed to, just like Sipand seeds, protect my beloved and the potential of my love with her. But these sighs acted totally opposite to what they were supposed to. What they went and did was put a protection around the beloved and the rival lover and allowed them to be together, come together, and did not protect either my beloved from the rival lover or the potential of my love with my beloved. So yeah, and this is where you see the mastery of Ghalib. Like I said, first he will draw the parallel, then he will draw the contrast. But the beauty of the Sher lies in the last three words, where he says, "Go Betaab tha." So he says that एक innocence है. There is an innocence in this. At least that's how it comes across to me. And like I always say at DGMZ, we are not trying to do 100% translation or interpretation. We are just indulging in the personal impressions. So the way it comes across to me is like as if Ghalib is very almost innocently asking or murmuring to himself that, but they were crackling. But they were crackling. Go Betaab tha. Betaab is restless. By extension, crackling. A lot of movement, agitated motion, right? So Ghalib is saying these sighs were as intense as the rue seeds. They had the making of rue seeds or crackling rue seeds. They had all the makings of crackling rue seeds. And they kept crackling. They kept crackling. But instead of warding off the evil, they just protected the rival lover and the beloved in their togetherness. So, I mean, it's almost as if Ghalib कह रहे हैं ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए था. मुझे तो ये बताया गया था कि अगर क्रैकल करेंगी रू सीड्स तो सारी बुरी निगाह, सारी बुरी रूह, सारी बुराई दूर हो जाएगी और बच जाएगी अच्छाई. The purity and the innocence of my beloved will stay preserved. My potential of love with her will stay preserved. मुझे तो ये बताया गया था और वो क्रैकल कर रही थी, फिर हुआ क्यों नहीं? एक किस्म का अचंभा है कि मैंने इतना फेथ रखा था इस बात में और बिल्कुल जैसा बताया गया था वैसा ही किया मैंने, बट बाकी सबके लिए तो ये काम करता था, मेरे लिए काम नहीं किया. जो एक शेर याद आ रहा है, हाँ, क्या है वो कि सुना था कि वो आएंगे अंजुमन में, सुना था कि उनसे मुलाकात होगी. सुना था कि वो आएंगे अंजुमन में, सुना था कि उनसे मुलाकात होगी. हमें क्या पता था, हमें क्या खबर थी, न ये बात होगी न वो बात होगी. कमर जलालाबादी की गज़ल है. एंड बिल्कुल वो ख्याल आ रहा है कि हमने तो ये सुना था कि ऐसा होगा, फिर ऐसा होगा, फिर ऐसा होगा, फिर ऐसा होगा. The way it was told to me, it was supposed to happen like this and like this and then like this. Little did I know that for me, it will not happen like this or like this or like this. It won't pan out for me the way it pans out for everybody else. There's a disappointment कि जब सबके लिए काम करता है तो मेरे लिए क्यों नहीं काम करता. सब जब इसको यूज़ करते हैं और बच जाते हैं, मैं क्यों नहीं बचा पाया जो मैं बचाना चाह रहा था. Okay. Let's get into the second शेर. मक़दम-ए-सैलाब से दिल क्या निशात आहंग है. Let's do an approximate translation. Maqdam is welcoming of something, coming of something, advent of something, right? Sailab is a flood, so coming of a flood. Dil kya nishat ahang hai. Dil, heart. Nishat is joy, cheerfulness, and ahang is music. And it's nishat, not nishat. Nishat ahang hai. So Maqdam-e-Sailaab se dil kya nishat ahang hai. This coming of this huge flood that I can see is making my heart sing with joy. And the second line is Khaana-e-Aashiq. Khana is a house, a dwelling place. Aashiq, lover, dwelling of the lover, home of the lover. Magar Saaz-e-Sadaa-e-Aab tha. This house of the lover is filled with music of water, music created by water. So that is the approximate translation. Now let's get into the impressions of these, of this couplet. So, Maqdam is a beautiful word. Usually, Khair Maqdam is a very common phrase that is used. And to get the flavor of the word more, ये कुछ शेर हैं. पहला शेर है, ए ज़मी मेरा खैर मकदम कर, तेरा बेटा हूँ अपनी बाहें खोल. Rafiq Sandelvi. So approximate translation is, O earth, receive me. Receive me. Let me come to you. Allow me to come to you. I am your son. Open your arms for me. So this is a share. The way it comes across to me, this is about somebody at the end of their life journey, now getting buried, and this is the sentiment they go into the earth with, that ultimately I am home. Ultimately I am home. I am your son. Take me back. I rose from you, and now I am coming back to you. The second share is, नया साल फिर आ गया दोस्तों, नए साल का खैर मकदम करें. Amin Hazeen. So this is a very simple share that The new year is here. Friends, let's welcome it. So Maqdam उस सेंस में लिया जाता है. It has a very and why I'm going into this is you can see many a times Maqdam has a very positive connotation to it. You're welcoming something. You're looking forward to something. You are eager about something. And this was another unique quality of Ghalib. He will use a word with such a strong positive connotation side by side with something that has a very strong negative connotation. and you have to, and that's where he catches you. Are you paying attention? Are you paying attention? मैंने मकदम लगा दिया तो आप सैलाब को खुशी खुशी तो नहीं मान रहे. अब सैलाब on the other hand is a flood. Now flood by virtue of the phenomena is not something one would associate with joyfulness and cheerfulness and positivity and nourishing growth and things like that. Flood, just by the sheer suddenness of it, is something which is more destructive in nature, has more potential to destroy, to disrupt, to, of course, if intense enough, to completely raze everything in its wake. Leave nothing behind. Just wipe the slate clean. That's what a flood is. And when Ghalib says Maqdam-e-Sailaab, welcoming joyfully in a celebratory way, welcoming the flood, you can imagine the paradox he's capturing there. So Maqdam-e-Sailaab se dil kya nishaat Aahang hai. So I can see this onslaught of flood coming towards me, and my heart is singing with joy. And this is where you stop and think that, first of all, this flood is the flood of tears, right? These are the tears that have been unushed, that have been kept under check for a very, very long time. For a very, very long time. We have this common phrase in English, floodgates have opened, right? So these floodgates are of those tears that have never been cried. And today, after the first verse, where the beloved has taken that big, drastic step of going ahead and coming together with the rival lover, probably that's what's leading to this opening of floodgates. And Ghalib is saying, my heart is singing with joy because of this. One of the most practical rationale for that would be, well, finally she has pushed me over the edge enough for me to fall and let go of the self-control, let go of all the, decorum I was maintaining, let go of the pride I was having in being able to control my pain, in my ability to subdue what I feel, to keep it under the surface, to keep it inside of me. Today, she has finally pushed me over the edge, and now I can indulge in it. I can cry openly, because now there is no hope. She has made her choice. So I can let go of that big task of hoping, and now I can indulge in my grief, because the grief is complete now. Or so it seems. That's how it comes across. And then in the second line he says, Khaana-e-Aashiq, the house of the lover. Now, Of course, simply put, the house where he lives. But this is Ghalib. So one thinks, what is the house of the lover? What does the lover call home? As you know, home is where the heart is. So for the lover, his home is where he is with the beloved. And that's his heart. So we can take it either way, his actual physical home and dwelling place, or his heart where he dwells with his beloved. That's his safe haven. That is where he stays with her, in his heart. Khaana-e-Aashiq Magar Saaz-e-Sadaa-e-Aab tha. So the house of the lover is filled with music of water. So sure, this flood will in its wake destroy everything. The house, the lover's existence. This flood will wash away everything. But while it is doing that, in those moments, at least this empty, desolated house will be filled with something. And what is that? The music of water. And this is where you see Ghalib's ability बार कह के तो ओवर यूज हो गया है वो वर्ड एबिलिटी. वैसे भी बहुत छोटा वर्ड है उनके टैलेंट के लिए. बट दिस इज़ वेयर यू सी गालिब्स innate again ability to find the silver lining. So the destruction is happening because of the flood, but Ghalib takes a moment to find beauty in it, to find music in it, to find joy in it. बर्बादी हो रही है, पर उसमें भी एक खुशी है, एक खूबसूरती है, एक साज है जो कि दिल को सुकून पहुंचाता है, रूह को सुकून पहुंचाता है. एंड yeah, that is the beauty of this शेर. Now इसमें एक वर्ड जो है निशात, right, which means joyfulness, cheerfulness. दूसरा वर्ड इसमें जो है आहंग, which means music and song. So ahang ke liye I have a शेर which will give you a little more flavor to how this word is used. So ये मखदूम मोहिद्दीन का शेर है. साजो आहंग भी जंजीर की झनकार भी है, साजो आहंग भी जंजीर की झनकार भी है, जिंदगी दीद भी है, हसरत दीदार भी है. ब्यूटिफुल शेर है. The approximate translation is that music and lyrics, you have this lyrical music also part of it, and you have this clinking of chains also part of it. Life is such that it is sight and then it is also a desire to see. So basically it's a mixture of both. You will get your joy from the music it brings to the table, but you will also hear the music in the chains it brings to the table. And then it gives you sight, but then it gives you this desire to see, wherein there will be many things that you will not be able to experience, or you will not be free enough to experience. So life gives you a mixture of both. And then Saaz-e-Sadaa-e-Aab. So this music of water that he mentions here. So when he uses the word Saaz, now Saaz technically means a musical instrument. So what is he talking about? right? Of course, he's saying that either whether he's talking about his physical house or the heart, which is the house where he dwells with his beloved, either way, he's saying the water is flooding through this house and making it into a musical instrument. Saaz. Saaz-e-Sadaa-e-Aab, right? A musical instrument which is creating music from water. So this is where the concept of Jal Tarang. Um, um, if you are into classical music, you will know that Jal Tarang, literally it means waves in water, but it is a process where you create motion of sound modified with the aid of water, and it is a melodic percussion instrument where you have these 7 ceramic bowls. It is said they are identical in size and shape, but all of them have different levels of water according to the type of musical notes you want to create. And then the expert of Jal Tarang is going to use percussion with, they have sticks, and they will use them to tap each bowl with a certain amount of pressure to create a certain type of note of music. It's a very intricate art form. Not many do it, but the ones who do are in a class of their own. So ऐसा लगता है कि गालिब उस टाइप के किसी म्यूज़िकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं कि ये जो घर है या ये जो दिल है जिसमें कि अब ये सैलाब बहेगा, this probably this house or this heart will act like those bowls full of water. Whenever the water will move, it will create music. So that is another concept that comes to mind when you go through this Sher. Okay, moving on to the third Sher. Nazish-e-Ayyaam-e-Khaakistar-Nashiinii kya kahun. Nazish-e-Ayyaam-e-Khaakistar-Nashiinii kya kahun. Pahluu-e-Andesha Vaqf-e-Bistar-e-Sanjaab था. ये भी बहुत प्यारा शेर है. So let's do a quick translation. Nazish-e-Ayyaam. So Nazish is pride in something. Ayyaam is times, current times, olden times, the period, time period. Khaakistar is basically, literally it means somebody sitting in dust. But metaphorically it means somebody who is humble, grounded on earth, right? So it is used to symbolize humbleness, being very grounded, being very down to earth, no airs, no frills, no laces. So Nazish-e-Ayyaam-e-Khaakistar-Nashiinii kya kahun. So Ghalib is saying, how do I even begin to describe the pride of the days I spent in humbleness, being close to the ground, sitting in the dust, being at the ground level, being at the first basic level. I cannot even start to describe the pride I used to feel in those days. Right? And in the second line he says, Pahluu-e-Andesha. So Pahluu is by your side. Andesha is, you can say imagination, but by extension here it is about anxiety and worries, things that can perplex you. So Pahluu-e-Andesha, even with worries and anxieties by my side. Even with worries and anxieties by my side, Waqf-e-Bistar-e-Sanjaab tha. So, so Waqf is completely giving yourself to something. And Bistar-e-Sanjaab, Bistar is bed, Sanjaab is mink, ermine. So he's like, even sleeping with anxiety and worries by my side was like giving myself up to sleep in a bed made of mink or ermine, some kind of expensive fur. So, what he's saying is that and this is a very philosophical share, right? So, Ghalib is saying, when you are humble, when you stay close to the ground, जब आपकी ख्वाहिशें बिल्कुल nil to minimum होती हैं, when you do not desire a lot, when you do not wish for a lot, right? When you are very, very simple. When you are very simple, your day is very simple, and you have no big, lofty dreams and wishes and desires, in those scenarios, even when you sleep with the so-called worries and anxieties by your side, you sleep so soundly, as if you are sleeping in a bed made of expensive mink and fur. Because of the sheer simplicity and lack of complexity in your thoughts and desires and wishes and dreams. And if you extend this a little, Ghalib is saying that thanks to falling in love with my beloved, I complicated the hell out of my life. I complicated the hell out of my life. Now it is just this tight knot of हजारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी कि हर ख्वाहिश पे दम निकले, a million desires. बहुत निकले मेरे अरमान लेकिन फिर भी कम निकले, and still a million more I want to wish for. I mean, the wishes and the dreams and the desires have become so much, so intense, so much, so lofty, that when they are not met and fulfilled, the pain and the anguish is equally lofty, right? So the higher you jump, the harder you fall. So Ghalib is saying, he's remembering those days when life used to be very simple. And he uses the word pride, Nazish, pride of those times, Nazish-e-Ayyaam. So again, by extension, he's saying, अब यहाँ पर तो बिल्कुल जिसे कहते हैं pride रही नहीं गई है. I have become so wanting. I have become so wanting. I have been rejected so many times, and yet I go back to her, right? I know the answer will be no, yet I ask the question again and again. So pride भी नहीं रही है. So there is no pride. There is no sound sleep. There is no comfort. There is no simplicity. Life has become very complex, and I've lost my pride. I've lost my self-esteem. To a certain degree, lost my self-control. And all this because I fell in love. All this because I fell in love. And if you have been with me for the other ghazals, it is fair to say that Ghalib never complained about unrequited love. He was okay with the beloved not saying yes. He was okay. But now that she has gone ahead and joined forces with a rival lover, I think this ghazal sees or captures a slight change in Ghalib's stance, where he is now, ये तो मतलब काफ़ी नुकसान का सौदा रहा काफ़ी नुकसान का सौदा रहा, and he is remembering those days when he had not gotten into these transactions of love, and he used to sleep probably on a dusty bed on the ground with the peace of a person sleeping on a bed made of expensive fur. So that is how this sher comes across. Okay, so we have completed 3 couplets today. I think we will stop here because there are quite a few. We won't be able to complete it in this episode. So we'll do another episode and pick it up from the 4th couplet. I hope you enjoyed the first 3. If you did, I would really appreciate if you could click like. If you have a comment or feedback, feel free to give that. It's always very encouraging to see likes and comments. It just makes all the effort worthwhile. If you think you know somebody who would enjoy listening to this content, a humble request for you to share it via your social media. And till we connect next time for the 2nd episode, lot of love and light to all of you. Thanks for watching.